Welcome to this episode of the Poppa B Show. Kind of relaxed a little bit. All right, I'm trying to get something up here on the computer. Oh, Poppa B's tats. Got my arms out. The old gun's getting old. And it's on Forbes.com. So I want to talk a little bit about why, and I got this from Forbes. It's a write-up. I did a little research on it myself. It's about someone who always has to be right and what kind of that does to team atmosphere and everything else. And as y'all know, I do these things based on experiences and what's going on in my circles. So obviously I've experienced this not too long ago over several different times. And y'all know me, I'm a different beast. I'm a free thinker. I like to think myself as being on the higher scale of having the old, squash, have a little more knowledge than most. I attack a lot of things with vigilance. I'll take on tasks all day long without saying a word and looking for recognitions about what I've done. There's others who want all the recognition in the world and they want to be noticed, and sometimes they think they know it all to get there. And here's the irony. What that does sometimes is it causes a breakdown in employee relations with other coworkers. And I've seen something like this take place. It's involved me. It's involved others. So I want to talk about knowing it all and what that impact has on others, including myself. So this is why always being right can kind of be wrong. Yeah, kind of be wrong. It is wrong. Basically, you remember the kid that always interrupted, always had to have the last word. Well, sometimes in the workforce, it can't be much different than being that kid that has to get the last word, and that is the beginning stages of always having to be right, and they have to have the last word in because that's what it is. Or I call it the circle around. They can't understand having a view from somebody else on something that they feel that they are the purveyor in the subject matter. And when someone else has a little more insight, instead of saying, well, yeah, what they'll do is they'll reverse it, ask a question, and come back around. That is problematic. That means they're not open to actually listening to others, which causes a breakdown. It actually causes whatever project to be working on for that person to lose interest, mistrust, and basically sometimes even walk away. So sometimes being the know-it-all is actually not helping you. It's hindering the person that thinks they know it all. So I'm going to read these cards right now. I can sit here and just talk trash. It's unfair to me, so we'll go to what I read on Forbes.com. You can look it up yourself. Why always being right can be wrong. It's on Forbes.com. Always being right can be wrong. It can turn people against you, stifle conversations and ideas, and even make people avoid you altogether. Why would you? Why would you want to go to someone that doesn't listen to your ideas or stifle the conversation because they want the last word? Because no matter what the subject matter is, they have to be right. You can't get your say in because that would make them wrong, and they can't accept the fact that they're wrong. So they'll look at the facts and circle it back around to make it your problem so that way it doesn't fall back on their plate because they know it all. That's a problem. You think you know what you're doing, so you rush people through explanations and basically don't do that. Stop and listen. So being right makes you think that you know it all, so you're going to rush to the explanation to advise someone in part of this process that you're looking to complete, so they're lacking the information to arrive to the same thing that you got going on because you know it all. And basically what that does is it keeps them lower than you, hinders their ability to provide help and get a task done because why? You know it all, and it kind of makes you look better in the process because it spins back around to make you look right and make them look bad. That's a problem. So stop and listen. You may find that you're not always right, and you'll find that you're not always right, at least when it comes to the minutia. What's minutia mean? Minutia means the small detail. So stop and listen when it comes to the small detail when you're working with others on something that matters. And you'll find out that you'll stop pushing people away and you'll get a better handle on your task at hand. So basically, if you're a know-it-all, you don't stop and listen to others. You know it all, you do it all, You win it all, you most likely won't stop to thank anybody either, because if you thank them, that gives them credit. Well, you know it all, so you can't give them credit because you're keeping it. You want to know it all. You can't give them acknowledgement by saying thank you, because why would you do that? That means you're giving up credit. You know it all. You don't want to release that. You can't do that. To win it all. You could be a part of a group or something and just push it out there and not have anything to do with it and still take all the credit. That's also being a know-it-all. Unfortunately, there's a lot of trends that kind of fall off being the know-it-all because, you have to know it all, do it all, win it all to have it all, right? You don't realize how much other people will be contributing to your big wins. And all this by far is the worst know-it-all pitfall. Again, there's the acknowledgement. And by Lord, man, if you're around someone all the time like that, who wants to be around that? They're going to find themselves, their circle as they go in, or if there's someone that's just got somewhere and doing something for a little while, they're going to have a big circle, because when you're in a work environment, everybody should be in that circle of trust, right? Everybody has a piece, everybody has a say, everybody needs to be heard. You're going to have your personalities, right? And then you can't accept knowing it all as a personality trait. It's a problem. It's a very big problem. That's like saying someone that, has a personality trait, oh, they're just hard-headed and they're going to swear at you and push you around. No, that's a bully. That's a problem. Or you have someone that just doesn't want to be a part of a team atmosphere and they isolate themselves and they won't take direction. That's a problem. You have to have something that's cohesive and it has a good flow environment. So being a know-it-all is like tearing the Band-Aid off the wound, because you're like, I know it all. This wound's fine. I know. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. Well, you can get an infection. That's the problem of knowing all. So, yeah, I know my skin's going to heal right. Done. Infection. Problem. So guess what? Being a know-it-all is pretty shitty, especially when it involves having to deal with others. You're isolating. It's become problematic. And it's sucky, man. Open your eyes if you're someone that thinks they know it all. Listen a little bit, because you get negative attention and it's crappy and it doesn't help someone like myself or anybody else that's trying to be involved around you in a process, because it's just going to hinder you, and it becomes problematic for someone who's getting frustrated trying to be a part of something and they're not being heard. It's easy to get very defensive, and guess what? That's pretty shitty too. You know why? Because then you start to look like the bad guy, because they know it all. Smart when it comes to that, because they can't accept mistake, accept advice, so they circle. They come back around. It's like, well, I don't get it. You got this and you got that, and it has to be your problem. It can't be their problem. So then you become frustrated, and then you have to, if you re-explain something 7 times to somebody, by Lord, don't you just feel like getting up and leaving, or you're going to say something that you don't mean to say, because this person will not take 1 second and 1 moment at a time to actually listen to what you have to say, because they know it all. And either A, they feel like knowing it all gives them the privilege to delegate, and then take away even listening to advice, because giving advice, learning from somebody else, means that you're not going to win it, you didn't know it all, and you've got to accept help. Stop being a know-it-all. Stop it. Poppa B says, cut that shit out. It's not going to help anything. It's not helping me. It's not helping others. It's not helping you. And it's bothering me, because I made a whole show of being a know-it-all is a shitty thing to be. Problematic. It is something that is manageable if you open up and listen and just shut up. Thank you. Poppa B's out of here. Motherfucker. Stop, damn it. If you like the Poppa B Show, as always, smash that like button, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter at PoppaB20, and always just look up Poppa B Show on YouTube.